Do you find yourself scrambling when it comes to the end of the day to get things cleaned up, buttoned up, tidied up so you can leave? Do you always feel that you're just not meeting your goals, expectations, you're not getting quite as much done in a day as you had hoped? There's always more that you thought you'd get done or you just don't get around to get doing? Are you looking for simple ways to just be better, be more productive, be more efficient, get things done in a faster manner to make more money, to get home sooner to your family? It all comes down to being efficient and being productive. Being productive is getting efficient results in a short amount of time, leaving you more free time at the end. It's something that we all wish we could improve on. It's something that we all overestimate is our productivity. And it's something that can actually be attained if we just work at it, train our minds and our bodies. We can get better at this process. And that's what today's video is about. Hey, I'm Chad. This is Excavation or Revelation, the place where we talk about excavating, where we reveal efficient strategies and procedures, and we mainly talk about productivity. Productivity to make you more money, productivity to get you home sooner, to be with your family and friends, to do the things that you really want to do with your free time. We all have to work for a living, but if we can do it more productive, more efficiently, make more money in less time, I think that is something that we could all benefit from, something we all want. There are basically three main things you can look at, three main steps to be productive each and every day. Ways to train your mind, train your body to get in a routine to help this happen. The first one is just in being prepared. This all starts the night before, actually, with getting a good, solid night's sleep. In today's world, we all push ourselves to the max. We all want to do as much as possible. And when it comes to the end of the day, we just don't want to wind down. We don't want to go to sleep. We want to do this, do that, be on social media, watch TV. But at the end of the day, we got to keep it a priority to make sure that we're getting to bed early and getting a good night's sleep. You want to make sure you get at least 7-8 hours. Everybody's a little bit different. They function a little bit differently. Of course, we can function on 6 hours, but really, we don't realize it, but our bodies and our minds are a little bit foggy if we're not getting our full standard 7-8 hours of sleep. Things are a lot more clear, we're a lot more focused, and we're a lot more productive if we're getting a good full night's sleep. Wake up in the morning, wake up early. Make sure you're not rushing around, scrambling. All this does is leads to forgetting things ultimately. If you give yourself a little bit extra time in the morning to go out about things with a little bit slower pace, more intentionality, you're less likely to forget, you're more likely to be more focused, and you're more likely to have everything ready to go to the job that day. I, for example, just like to start out by first turning my attention to God. I'm a Christian. I like to read my Bible. I like to spend some time doing a devotion, a prayer, and just getting focused on Him. Before I pick up my phone to check email or weather or anything, text, I'm focusing on the Word. It's a way to keep grounded. It's a way to keep centered in a Christ-like mindset. I like to eat breakfast too. It's very important in the morning to get nutrition, get your mind and your body some nutrition, some energy. You can either do this while you're going to the job, swing by a bagel shop and get something, or I like to just sit down and have a moment to eat there, nice and quiet in my house, eat in peace. While I'm doing this, I'm checking the weather. It's something we all do. It's very important in our field. The weather can really change quickly, and it can really influence and affect our projects differently. We need to be prepared for it. Of course, the weather forecasters, they're not always right, but they do their best. And with today's tools, radars, different apps, we can be as prepared as possible by looking at the weather. So as you're getting your mind ready, you're warmed up, you're eating, you're looking at the weather, be kind of thinking about things that need to happen today, things you need to pack, get ready, tools you need to take, different guys you need to contact or be in touch with throughout the day. Just keep all this in mind as you're preparing and getting ready to go out the door. Of course, it's going to vary where your job site is. Sometimes you're working right in town. Sometimes you're working an hour or so away. Use that time as you're traveling to focus, think out the job, get things mentally prepared. Try to think of the main reasons, the main objectives for that day, the main focus points. You want to the things you want to definitely get done this day. I like to have my lunch packed. I like to be able to just be able to go grab it out of my truck at lunchtime and eat it, and not be wasting time driving to somewhere to get food, driving back, risking the potential of getting a flat tire or something else happening, hitting a deer. I like to just have it there, and I know it's there and ready, and I know what to expect. That's just me. So once you do finally get to the job, you really want to be there at 7 a.m. I know, especially if you're your own boss, it's tempting to start at 8 or 7:30 even, but I strongly suggest 7 a.m. or even a little bit earlier. A couple reasons. One, it's much cooler. Guys work more efficiently and effectively when they're cooler and more comfortable, as opposed to the warm hours later in the day. It also gives you time to get ahead of people, get ahead of traffic. It's nearly not as congested at red lights, stop signs. You can usually travel a little bit faster. It's just a good time to go about to get to the job early before most people are even starting their day. It's also a time when things are usually quieter. You have more time to be focused. Your phone's not ringing as much. You're not getting distractions. Just get there earlier. You can kind of get a jump start on your day, what's going on. The main point two, or the main step number 2 is for this process is while you're actually at work. We talked about being prepared before. Now you're actually there. While you're there at 7, go ahead, get your machine checked out. Check your fluids, check your capacities. Make sure it's all ready to go. Start it up, let it warm up, and be ready. If you run a crew, make sure you're talking to your people, your guys, your gals. You're making sure that you're all on the same page. What needs accomplished today? You're putting the first things first. Yeah, there's a lot to get done on a job site sometimes, but we need to prioritize. Make a goal. This objective you want to get done today, that's a good goal. But more specifically, break your goals down into half a day. Before lunch, we need to get this accomplished. This is how we're going to go about doing it. If you guys have any thoughts, any questions, any concerns, so-and-so is going to be in this machine, so-and-so is going to be in the ditch. Whatever it takes, make sure you're all communicating, you're all well aware of the game plan, so that way you can go out as soon as you're done with your meeting and you're attacking the main thing, your main goal first. Right off the bat, everyone's fresh, everyone's got more energy, and it's the most important thing. Once you get the big things knocked out of the way, you can then focus on the smaller things throughout the day. But it gives you a sense of accomplishment, it gets momentum rolling once you get the big things done first. It's just a mindset. Always try to do the big thing first. Mark Twain, for example, has a quote, eat the frog. Eat the frog first. What that means is if that's your main goal today, is to eat a frog, do it first thing. Then you've got time to do the other things. If you're to eat 2 frogs, eat the bigger one first, and then work on the second one. It's kind of a silly quote, but it's about a mindset. Do your big things first, get them done, get knocked out of the way, get momentum rolling. So now you're finally in your machine or doing your task, you're starting your day. Put your phone aside. Put it nearby, but don't put it somewhere that's going to distract you. Social media can wait. Google Trends can wait. Every day, it's an average of 63 times that most people check their phones for non-essential reasons, whether they're just checking to see what's going on in Google, whether to see if they got an email. They're wasting time is what they're doing. Put your phone on the side. Make sure you're letting your spouse know that when you're at work, you need to be focused at work. It's a rough environment. It can be dangerous. Heavy equipment can be very dangerous. You want to be focused. Let them know that later in the day at lunchtime, you'll be getting back to them. You'll be responding to things, but not throughout the day. You want to just try to keep your distractions to the minimum. Of course, if you own your own business, it's going to be hard with different people calling you in, but try not to. It's hard to say this, but try not to answer your phone while you're at work. Let them leave a voicemail, leave you a text. Get back to them later in the day. We'll talk about this too. A good time to do that, but it can really break momentum if you're digging a ditch and all of a sudden your phone rings. You're talking to somebody about a potential job. You might be holding up productivity. If there's a guy in the ditch waiting to put pipe in, you need to put stone in there for him, but he's waiting on you to talk on the phone. Some people might be able to be good at multitasking, talking and working, but it's kind of dangerous, and at the same time, it's not really worth it. You're not giving your full attention to the person on the phone, and you're not giving your full attention to the guy in the ditch where you could potentially be hurting. You want to be able to answer your phone call or call them back later when you're in a controlled environment. You can hear them clearly. You can make notes of what they're asking or talking about. Save this for later. Try to keep focused. Try to keep your phone away. I'm not sure about you, but when I'm at the job, I want to be at the job. I want to get it done as fast as possible so I can get home sooner to do things that I want to do. I want to work at work and be at home, if that makes any sense. I don't want to be mixing the two and overlapping. I want to be focused on one thing at a time, giving my full attention to where I'm at. Also, by setting goals in the morning, by your projects, giving yourself a deadline for things, it comes back to Parkinson's law. If you never heard of this, what it basically is whatever amount of time you give yourself to do a project, essentially that's what it's going to take. Back in school, if you have a report due in 2 weeks, most of us are going to wait till a couple nights before to start doing that project. We're going to put it off until we have to get it done. It says that your work just expands with the time you give it. If you're giving yourself clear, concise goals, clear, concise deadlines during the day, you're more likely to meet those deadlines. You're going to stay more focused, more driven to be there and to do those things. It's Parkinson's law. You can read up on it. There's a lot more to it, but in a nutshell, that's what it is. The next point I want to make for going about your day, you want to be always thinking ahead. At lunchtime, or right before lunchtime, give yourself a little bit of downtime to make notes, things that you thought of throughout the morning that you want to get ordered for tomorrow, whether it's pipe or stone, and make notes or make that call right before lunchtime and get that accomplished, get it set up. That way, when lunchtime rolls around, you can be eating, you can be focused on just relaxing and eating. You're not really thinking about work on your lunch break. Also, at the end of the day, do the same thing. Give yourself time, a little bit extra time, to just be able to answer phone calls, get back to people, not while you're in the machine, but while you're in your truck. Give yourself time. Think ahead. Know what time you need to shut down, get things cleaned up, so you have a little bit of time in your truck to get some other business taken care of. Think ahead to when it's going to storm. You want to make sure that the site's prepared, whether your topsoil pile is tracked in. If you're putting gravel down, you want to make sure it's nice and rolled in, sealed off, nice and tight. Getting your machines parked in a way that you can get to them if it does storm real bad or they're not getting flooded out. Always be thinking ahead about things as you're going throughout your day. Take some time right before lunch, at the end of the day, to make notes. This is very important. Make sure, again, at the end of the day, you're giving yourself ample time to get things done. You're giving yourself time to fuel and grease your machines. I kind of mentioned this earlier, but this is so important. So often guys will go throughout the day, they'll be doing a project, and all of a sudden their fuel light will come on, and they'll have to stop and fuel up their machine. You're killing momentum, you're wasting time. Do this at the end of the day. Make sure your machine is always filled up, topped off, ready to go. That way, if you're way back in the woods, you don't have to worry about running out of fuel throughout the day. You don't have to, if you're on a steep slope, you don't have to worry about running out low in fuel. Always just put fuel, get in the habit of putting fuel in your machine at the end of the day and greasing your machine at the end of the day too. Greasing at the end of the day will actually save you grease, save you time. You're not going to have to pump as hard, pump as much. The bearings are going to be warm. The grease is going to flow over them nicely. It's going to get dispersed more uniformly. Do this at the end of the day. It is a big time saver. It's also going to save you grease. You're not going to be wasting as much pumping it out into cold bearings. So at the end of the day, you're thinking ahead, you're getting prepared. Your machine's ready for the next day. You're getting your supplies in place, your people in place. Everything is then set up for the next day. You can then leave, go home to your family, and be at home with your family. You're not answering calls or texts. You're leaving yourself time at the end of the day to get everything accomplished, set up for the next day. This is being prepared. So just to recap in a nutshell, you're being prepared for the day, you're getting good sleep, you're eating your breakfast, you're mentally preparing, you're getting to the job site 7 a.m., you're ready to roll. Things are in place. Throughout the day, you're there, you're being focused. You're not being distracted by your cell phone. You're not letting little calls or texts get in your way, emails. It can all wait. While you're there at the job, you're focused on the job, you're focused on being safe and getting the task done at hand at that time. You're putting the big things first, the main goals, and you're always thinking ahead. You're always being prepared, you're always making notes, and you're always getting set up for what's to come in the future. I hope this makes sense. I hope these are just simple productivity tips you guys can put in place. Let me know which one stood out for you, which one that you're not really doing right now. they all play together. They all tie together, and they all can make you more productive each and every day. If you chip away at them, if you do them little by little, your mind will get trained, your body will get used to them. It'll become a rhythm. It'll become a cycle, something you don't really have to think about. You're not wasting as much time. You're being more efficient, and you're being productive if you follow these steps. Well, as always, I appreciate you guys watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, got something out of it. If you did, feel free to like it. I'd appreciate that, and we'll see you next time.